It's game 3 of the CCL season. The Caneo Oaks and the San Luis Obispo Blues set to duke it out on the baseball diamond for game 2 of the series. Welcome everybody to Cal Lutheran along with Jordan Brenner. My name is Jonathan Rifkin. A special thanks to Sean McKinnon, our producer for today's game. The Oaks losing yesterday 5-4 in a heartbreaking loss at the top of the ninth. The Blues were able to muster up a run to take the win. Overall, it wasn't a bad day for the Oaks. They put up 9 hits to the 1 hit for the Blues. There were 2 big defining factors, I think, for that game that they need to capitalize to get the win today here, Jordan, as we bring you in. The Oaks had 9 hits, which is good, but they left 6 runners on base. Not good. They also struck out a substantial amount of times. They struck out 8 times throughout the entire game. That's basically one per throughout one guy in one strikeout per guy in the lineup. Excuse me. Obviously, that's not how the box score shows. Elijah Alexander had 2 strikeouts, which should be uncommon. Bart West had 2 strikeouts, which is kind of how the first game for him went as well. What do the Oaks do today with most of the lineup kind of the same? What do they do today to suffice to say yesterday's game wasn't great, but this is how we changed it today?
Well, yesterday you saw 6 runners left on base because most of the hits came with 2 outs in the inning. And you're stranding runners because you only have 1 out to work with when you have guys on the base path. So if you can muster up hits with 1 or 2 outs, or excuse me, 1 or no outs in the inning, you're going to see a lot more success. At the end of the day, I was pretty happy with Oaks' performance in yesterday's game, obviously falling to 0-1 in league play. But this team fought. They were down by 4 after the 3rd inning, 4-0. This team didn't give up. You know, they struggled at the start, but then they fought all the way back. They tied this game. You end up giving up a run in the 9th on a bloop type of hit. But at the end of the day, for a bunch of guys who are coming on this team, new to each other, new to the coaching staff, they don't know each other very well. They fought hard together, and they proved to be a cohesive unit yesterday.
Being a cohesive unit is exactly what head coach Dave Silly said. But as we talked about before the game, Jordan, the majority of the Oaks hits came with 2 outs. Now, stringing together hits is key, especially in CCL baseball, because you're not going to get a lot of guys who hit the ball out of the park. Yes, Brandon Lewis obviously can hit the ball out of the park. Andrew Lucas has proven that he can hit the ball out of the park. Elijah Alexander. But for the most part, you're relying on a little bit of small ball. If you can't string together hits and then only get hits with 2 outs, what's that saying about the offense? Is that saying, well, we're only trying when there's 2 outs when our backs are against the wall? Or are we saying, well, it's the beginning of the season, let's just work with things, get the chemistry, get our feel for the field, and eventually things will tune out the way that they want?
Well, I think yesterday's game in part was a little bit random in that they got a lot of their hits with 2 outs. Brandon Lewis got two 2-out hits. You know, that's just how the lineup went. Going forward, you have to have quality at-bats no matter what the situation is. It doesn't matter if it's a tie game in the bottom of the 8th inning or if it's your first at-bat of the game in the top of the 2nd. At the end of the day, you have to give quality at-bats every time you're up there. And if you do that over the course of a season, you're going to see your numbers follow suit.
That's exactly what the Oaks want to do. We're going to cut here for the national anthem when we come back. Starting lineups and first pitch. It's game number 3, game number 2 of the series between the Oaks and the Blues right here on the Oaks Broadcasting Network. Nice acoustic rendition of our national anthem here at George Sparky Anderson Field. Welcome back, everybody. The Oaks and the Blues getting set to duke it out here on the baseball diamond. The Blues won game one of the series yesterday. These two teams will play 6 times throughout the year, 4 times here and 2 times up in Cal Poly. Let's get the starting lineups. How about that? As the Oaks take the field, we'll give you the starters here for the San Luis Obispo Blues. Starting off for the Blues under head coach Dan Marple, number 6, Jay Charleston. He's playing second base from Tennessee. Behind him, Tanner Thompson out in left field from Allen Hancock College. In the third spot, Marco Murillo from Campbellsville University out in center field. The cleanup man for the Blues, Justin Lutz from out first base from Pepperdine. Connor Sands behind him in third base from Cal Poly Slow. In the sixth spot is Luke Lipschitz out in right field from Tennessee as well. Noah Taylor batching DH behind him from Notre Dame High School out in Sherman Oaks, California. In the 8th spot is Ryan McCarty, catching from Cuesta Community College. And Quentin Perez, the shortstop, is in the 9th spot for the Blues. On the mound for them was Dan Morrow from Pepperdine. The Oaks field here for you today. Andrew Lucas is out in right. Elijah Alexander in center. Raymond Gomez out in left. Bart West at first. Tanner Wright at second. Sam Shaken at short. Brandon Lewis at third. Behind the dish, Bryce Vitz. And on the mound for the Oaks, getting his second start in an inning pitched so far this year, giving up 1 run, 3 hits, and 1 walk, Brandon Ponticelli. Jordan, we saw Ponticelli in that 1 inning against the Cubs. He gave 3 hits and a run, but overall didn't look too bad. What do we expect from him here today?
Well, he's going to be very effective against right-handed hitters. He sports just 2 pitches, a cutter, a slider, both moving away from the right-handed hitter. Obviously struggled in the first game a little bit, giving up those 3 hits and a run. But I expect him to do a little bit better today. Obviously, Coach Dave Solis trusts him enough to get the bid starting in the second game of CCL play. We're going to see how sharp he is today and if he can recover from that tough first outing.
Jay Charleston, who went 3 for 4 yesterday with a run, an RBI, and a walk. A phenomenal day for him. Will lead things off. The Tennessee Volunteer gets set. The Oaks in their baby blues with white letters on the front and dark blue numbers on the back. The first pitch, a strike low and inside. First pitch time, 4:28. A little bit windy as usual, blowing out to right field. Weather is 72 degrees. As I mentioned, 3 hits for Charleston yesterday, and he's been good for the 6-2 Blues. As he swings and misses at an 0-1 pitch, 0-2 the count. The Blues are now in their 9th game, 6-2 overall. In their second CCL game of the season. Now they're 1-0 in the CCL season. The Oaks come into today 1-1, beating the SoCal Cubs in game number 1 of the season on Sunday and then losing yesterday. The 0-2 runs low and away for ball 1. Not a big turnout here, but I think we'll get some late arriving crowd, or late arriving fans, if you will. The Blues normally travel well, but most of their fans come from the San Luis Obispo area, which is still in school. The 1-2 bounces in the dirt away from Vitt, but nobody on base, so nothing doing there. 2-2 the count.
You're not seeing a lot of change in velocity from Ponticelli early. The sliders coming in at about 81 miles an hour, the cutter around 84, 85. In order to be more effective, there has to be a little bit more difference in velocity so you can get hitters more off balance.
The 2-2 in from Ponticelli. Cracked over shortstop's head into left center field. That's going to be good for extra bases. Going around first and dashing to second is Charleston. He's going to make the turn and go to third. The throw will not be in time, and Charleston is standing on third base with a leadoff triple here for the Blues.
Talk about a player who's really hot right now. You can't throw anything to Jay Charleston anywhere near the center of the plate, and that's exactly what Ponticelli did. He hung his cutter. It caught a little bit too much plate, and Charleston just turned on it.
Beautiful, beautiful hit right there, right over the outstretched arm of Sam Shaken. That's going to bring up Tanner Thompson in the second spot. Thompson did not play. He actually did play yesterday. He was in the 9th spot. My mistake. Went 1 for 4 in that game with a hit and an RBI. The first pitch to him is a strike at the knees. Hope everybody's enjoying a nice Wednesday afternoon. Wherever you are watching, we appreciate you making us a part of your plans. Ponticelli deals the 0-1. Just missing inside, 1-1 the count. Ponticelli can hit up near 90, but not consistently. He's been between 87 and 89 so far today. Takes the sign from Veet and deals the 1-1. Cracked over to second. On the second hop right, gets it and deals it over to first, but not before the run comes in. And that's a productive out there for the Blues as they take a 1-0 lead here in the the top of the first inning. RBI 4-3 put out for those keeping score at home. And that's what you want to do if you're the Blues. Capitalize on the big win yesterday and score early and often here in this game.
Talk about a dream scenario to hit in for Thompson. Just an easy RBI.
The speedy Marco Murillo digs in and takes a ball low for ball one. In his second year with the team, Murillo has put up stellar numbers. He was an all-star last season from Campbellsville and an exciting player to watch as he slices one foul down the right field line, 1-1 the count. Ponticelli towing the rubber out of Kansas. One of the only Midwestern players on this team. He deals the 1-1. Almost hitting Murillo, but instead finds the inside corner, 2-1 the count. The Jayhawk, along with the Valparaiso Crusader, Sam Shaken, only two really Midwest players on this team. The 2-1 runs inside as well, 3-1 the count. Of course, Valparaiso in northern Indiana. They play in the Missouri Valley Conference. Kansas, one of the Big 12 teams. The righty puts forth the 3-1. Cracked foul, and that will bring the count full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. The wind has been sporadic here. Earlier in the day, about 1 o'clock, it was really blowing out to that right field pole, and then now it's kind of shifting out towards right center, but I expect it as the day continues to move, it'll shift more towards home plate. The 3-2 runs upstairs, and that's ball 4. 5-pitch walk from Murillo, and the speedy outfielder is on first base here with 1 away for the Blues.
If you're head coach Dave Solis, if you're looking back at this first inning for Brandon Ponticelli, you're not going to be too upset with the Charleston triple. You know, he's a hot hitter. He got barrel to the ball, you know, and then you give an RBI ground out. What he will be upset about is the walk. You can't do that, especially early in games. That's how you give up a crooked number.
First pitch into the new batter. Justin Lutz runs outside for ball 1. Ponticelli missed the inside a couple of times to Murillo, so right there overcompensating and missing outside to Lutz. The lefty from Pepperdine digs back in. The righty on the mound toes the rubber and deals the 1-0. A strike on the outside corner at 88 miles an hour. Fans continuing to fill in here, but still so many empty seats. Sunday saw a lot of people here, almost at capacity. Yesterday and today during the weekdays, not so much, but it is not quite summer yet. Most people still have jobs to do. The 1-1, just missing letter high, 2-1 the count. Come June 21st, when summer really hits, I'd expect the stadium to start filling up. Runner goes, the 2-1 misses the throw. In time! Shaken's able to make the grab and make the tag. And that's a big out, number 2 here for the Oaks. Beautiful throw there from Vitt. It was a little bit off-center towards the left, but he was able to adjust. 3-1 the count, 2 away here, nobody on.
Yesterday, Drew Sims threw out a runner at second base. Today, Bryce Vitt. A lot of great defensive catchers on this Oaks team.
As the 3-1 pitch is a fastball catching the outside part of the plate. 3-2 the count. The Rams had their OTAs earlier today over our left field wall as the 3-2 pitch runs low and away for ball 4. Back-to-back walks here now for Ponticelli. Both 5 pitches. That'll put a runner on. So out in left field, if we can get a shot of that, Sean, you can see the Rams summer training facilities. We were very fortunate to be able to experience something that cool. If you come out on Sundays morning, you can actually watch them practice. Pretty cool from the ballpark. First pitch in to Connor Sands is a ball on the inside part of the plate. A lot of action in the Thousand Oaks area. Some high schools still in their postseason for baseball. Runner goes, the 1-0 misses inside. Called strike, just kidding, the throw. Not in time. And that's a stolen base for Justin Lutz. That pitch looked like it was going to be missed up inside for a ball because it looked like it was the same exact location as the first pitch of that bat. But nonetheless, a 1-1 count and a runner in scoring position.
Head coach Dan Marple really testing Bryce Fitt early. Doesn't trust his arm quite yet.
Big lead from second. The 1-1 runs way inside. Got away from Ponticelli. 2-1 the count as Vitt wants a conversation with his pitcher. Slow Blues wearing their signature blue and yellow uniforms. Navy blue with 2 pinstripes that are white. The Slow Blues name outlined by white on the front. The letters on the back, or excuse me, the numbers on the back outlined by white as well. And then the mustard yellow sleeves. What do you think of that? What do you think of the mustard yellow sleeves here, Jordan?
I like them.
Yeah?
I think they work really well with the navy blue.
I agree. I love this color combination for the Blues. The Oaks and their baby blues, the signature style. The 2-1 is ripped down there. 2-2 the count. Pitch taken for strike number 2. The Oaks are short-staffed tonight, so expect a pitching by committee, much like we saw on Sunday. The 2-2 is sliced in the right field. That's going to get through for a single. Rounding third and coming home is Lutz. The throw will not come in time, and that's an RBI single for Connor Sands. 2-0 Blues here in the top of the first inning, and they're picking up right where they left off yesterday.
Again, the cutter catching too much of the plate. The right-handed Connor Sands did a great job going the other way, taking the cutter to the opposite field. That's what you want to do when you have a ball moving away from you as a hitter.
And Tanner Wright just missed the step. It hit off his glove and went into the right field part of the outfield as the first pitch in Lipschitz bounces in the dirt for ball 1. But as a fielder, that's a hard play. Like, you can't blame that second baseman because you're moving out of position on a ball that is heated right at you. So overall, I think Wright did all he could do, but just a bad hop for the Oaks. The 1-0 runs up and away, 2-0 the count.
And you already see Dave Solis getting some action up in the bullpen. Doesn't want this game to get too far away from the Oaks.
Looks like Eric Moss starting to warm up. 2-0, slice foul, 2-1 the count. As I mentioned, this is the 9th game for the Slow Blues. They are one of the CCL teams that starts early, but they mostly play teams up from NorCal as the 2-1 pitches cut on and missed, 2-2 the count. They normally play teams in NorCal that are not part of the CCL to begin the season. Get their roster set because they are missing a lot of players, much like the Oaks. But they want to give these guys an opportunity to start the chemistry early. The 2-2 is skied to left field. Running back on it is Gomes, and he makes the catch for out number 3. But not before 2 runs come around on 2 hits. No errors and 1 left on base. We're through half an inning here from Sparky Anderson Field, the Oaks half. When we come back, Blues lead 2-0 on the Oaks Broadcasting Network.
Right fielder from Cal State Northridge, number 5.
Back here at Sparky Anderson Field, the Oaks down 2-0 early to the Blues, but the offense will look to try to turn the tide here. It's Andrew Lucas. The big right-handed leadoff hitter steps in, and the first pitch is low, gets away from the catcher McCarty for ball number 1. The Oaks lineup looks as this. Andrew Lucas leading off. Tanner Wright behind him from Cal Lutheran. Sam Shaken in the 3rd spot. Brandon Lewis in the 4th spot. Bart West in the 5th spot out of USC. Bailey Holbrook as the 1-0 pitch is cut back foul. 1-1 the count. Bailey Holbrook is DHing in today's game in the 6th spot. Bryce Vietz, the catcher in today's game, in the 7th spot behind him. Roman Gomez in the 8th spot. And Elijah Alexander will cap off the lineups for the Oaks. Give the field here for the Blues in just a second as the 1-1 pitch comes into Lucas and misses outside for ball 2. The field looks like this for the Blues. Luke Lipschitz out in right, Marco Murillo in center, Tanner Thompson in left. The infield here in a moment. The 2-1. Half-hearted swing held back, called strike nonetheless. 2-2 the count, though the scoreboard does say strike 3. Our scoreboard operator Ramsey today just messing with us, I guess. And the 2-2 pitch is taken, called strike 3, and Lucas goes down looking for the first Oaks offensive out of the game. Dan Morrow gets his first strikeout on the first batter he faces, and that'll bring up Tanner Wright. The rest of the field for you here for the Blues: Justin Lutz at first, Jay Charleston at second, Quentin Perez over at short, at third base is Connor Sands, and behind the dish, Ryan McCourt. The first pitch to Wright is outside for ball 1.
Yeah, Lucas was rewarded, brought up from the 9th spot to lead off. Not a good start.
The 1-0 by Wright is cracked up the middle and into center field for a single. Tanner Wright came as a pinch hitter 2 days ago for the Oaks against the Cubs. Didn't do much on the offensive end, but right there, trying to jumpstart the first inning here for the Oaks. Sam Shaken checks in. Shaken on the season, has a home run yesterday for the Oaks. Went 1 for 3 with an RBI and no strikeouts. One of the only Oaks in the lineup to not strike out. The Valparaiso product takes the first pitch up and in for ball 1. Tanner Wright over at first has some speed, so I wouldn't expect, or I wouldn't be surprised, I should say, if he gets the go-ahead sign. Riley Jones, the first base coach for the Oaks. Brian Wilson, the third base coach for the Oaks. Morrow deals the 1-0. Runner goes, and it's skied to left field, and that's going to drop for a single. Wright hesitates going around second and then strolls back wisely. Back-to-back singles here for the Oaks, and they are now threatening with the tying run at first base.
Finally, we're going to get to see Brandon Lewis hit with some runners on, an RBI opportunity finally. Yesterday he had 2 two-out hits. Now finally some chance to do some serious damage.
Brandon Lewis, one of the most powerful Oaks batters, and he is put in a spot here to try and at least tie up this game, if not take the lead. So he gives us a look up here. He knows what he's told me last. He comes up and says, you know, I went 0 for 4, and I heard you above the press box say I was 0 for 4, and I said, don't go 0 for 4, and you won't have to deal with it. So I think he's motivated here to have us call a home run of his. Morrow checks the runner at second and fires in a fastball knee-high for strike number 1. Morrow checks right and deals the 0-1 to Lewis. He skies it into center field. Murillo is able to move to his left and make the catch, but Wright is not going to tag. He looked like he was going to tag, but that throw was in quickly out of center field, and that puts 2 outs up on the board. A strikeout and a flyout account for both the outs this inning for the Oaks. Between those have been 2 singles. Over at first base is Sam Shake, and Tanner Wright is at second. And that'll bring up Bart West, the USC Trojan. Struck out twice yesterday, following a 3 strikeout performance on Sunday. Waving that bat over his right shoulder. Morrow checks that runner at second, toes the rubber, and deals the first pitch away for ball 1.
Why you got to introduce him like that? Why don't you talk about his base hit yesterday, Jonathan? Making the kid look so bad.
Indeed, he did have a base hit as well to go along with a run. I was getting there, Jordan. The righty on the mound deals the 1-0. At the knees, strike 1, 1-1 the count. But West is a very bright prospect. At USC, he wasn't able to play last year. He got injured, had the red shirt, or medically red shirt, if you will. And he is going to lead a Trojan team that is much needed on the offensive, or is much in need of some offensive talent. The 1-1. Slice over to third, but out of play, 1-2 the count. So I think this is an opportunity here for West to kind of hone that skill, that offensive skill that we know he has, that raw power, that ability to see the field that we know he has, and take that with him come the 2018-2019 USC baseball season.
Coming to play in Thousand Oaks, all the way from Singapore.
Indeed, indeed. It's an American school in Singapore. The 1-2 is upstairs, 2-2 the count.
That sounds like an awesome opportunity.
It does. The Oaks actually have had history of some international players. They had a player from the Philippines last year, the closer for Cal Lutheran in that championship-winning team. 2-2. That's going to drop into right center and go back to the wall. Rounding third and coming home is right. Following him is Shaken. There was some trouble with it as he's waved home. The throw in. As Shaken tries to run out of the way, but it's in time for out number 3. But not before the Oaks strike for 1 run on 3 hits, no errors, and then leave 1 on base. We're through a full inning here from Cal Lutheran. Oaks are down 2-1. Slow Blues up on the next, or on the other side of the break right here on the Oaks Broadcasting Network.
Blues, designated hitter number 11, Noah Taylor.
Top of the second, 2-1 the score. Happy Wednesday, everybody, back here at Sparky Anderson Field. Jordan Brenner, myself, Jonathan Rifkind, Sean McKinnon, our excellent producer on the evening, as the first pitch comes in to Noah Taylor, taken outside for ball 1. Taylor's a high school phenom from Notre Dame High School out in Sherman Oaks, California, not too far down the road, about 40 minutes. Closer to where Jordan lives, as the 1-0 is cut on and foul tipped back into the glove of Vitt for strike number 1. He batted over .330 this season, over 30 games with Sherman Oaks, and put up 23 RBIs as well. A fast hitter, and he can see the field very well. The 1-1 bounces off his right foot, and he's going to take first base on the hit pitch.
Yeah, you're seeing early Ponticelli really has no control over his heater. He's missing left, he's missing right, up and down. I'm surprised that Solis stuck with him for a second inning. He really wants him to hone in that fastball because he wants him to be a major component of the staff going forward.
Feel free to interact with us on Twitter as Ryan McCarty digs in and takes a strike at the knees. At Caneo_Oaks is our Twitter. He's at Jordan Brenner 31. I'm at Johnny Riff, and he's our producer McKinnon_Sean. You can also interact with us on YouTube on the live stream. There's a wonderful little chat area. The 1-0 is a breaking pitch upstairs, 1-1 the count. So feel free to talk to us, chat with us. We love interacting with fans. We'll run a couple of contests as we move along the season. Win some free tickets, on-field passes. The 1-1, missing up and away, 2-1 the count. A lot of good stuff coming your way as we hit the youth of the season here in the CCL. This is the second and final game between these two teams of the weekday series. The Oaks will host the Academy Barons tomorrow before heading on the road on Saturday and Sunday. The 2-1. Just missing inside, 3-1 the count.
Ponticelli's jersey has gone just as he has. Completely tucked in and ready to go, and now kind of falling out a little bit.
Very poetic. 3-1. A two-hopper over to short, shaken, fires it over to second in time. The relay. Beautiful 6-4-3 double play for the Oaks, and they eliminate all base runners and put 2 outs up on the board. Sam Shaken knows how to turn that double play with ease. He looked over at first, realized he had enough time to underhand at the second, right turned and fired it over to West at first.
Tanner Wright really showed off that cannon there. He really had to hustle to get McCarty at first. Luckily, it was a catcher running, but a wonderful turn to get Ponticelli out of trouble. And just as he gets the double play, the shirt is right back tucked in again.
I think he heard you, and he said, you know what, I'm going to be tucked in and ready to go on the mound as he deals the first pitch to Quentin Perez. Perez shows bunt, but misses for strike 1. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Blues. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for the Oaks. Here in inning number 2 on a quiet day from Thousand Oaks, California. The 0-1 into Perez, misses up and away, 1-1 the count. This is the third of the 4-game homestand to start the season for the Oaks as they host the Academy Barons tomorrow, on Friday, 4:30 game time, 4:15 pregame for that one. Saturday and Sunday, we'll hit the road out to MLB Urban Youth Academy in Compton. As the 1-1 pitch runs upstairs, 2-1 the count. For games 2 and 3 of that series against the Barons. Always a fun time going out to the Urban Youth Academy where the CCL All-Star game is played. The 2-1 in for Ponticelli. Misses outside, 3-1 the count. And this is the first year in about 8 years that the CCL postseason will not be played at the MLB Urban Youth Academy. In fact, it'll be right here at Cal Lutheran. The 3-1, cut on foul, right into the Blues dugout. A couple of players tried barehanding it, but wisely let it go out of the way and bouncing off the wall instead. Full count. So yes, the Oaks are hosting the playoffs regardless of if they make it or not. We will be your official CCL broadcasting team for the playoffs as well. So if you're not an Oaks fan and you like watching us or listening to us, you're going to enjoy us even more during the postseason. Time is called behind the plate. Quentin Perez restraps his gloves. You think that's a mental thing, Jordan? The gloves coming off and being restrapped as the 3-2 pitch? Paints the outside corner, strike 3 called. I'll let you answer my question before we hit break.
Yes, I do think it's a mental thing. A lot of mental things go on in the game of baseball.
No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. The Blues are retired in short order after a double play. 2-1 the score as we head to the bottom of the second right here on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network.
There you go, Bailey. Get in there, big boy.
Bailey Holbrook stepping up to the plate here for the Oaks. The DH in today's game, taking the left-handed batter's box. Yesterday, threw a couple innings. 2 innings pitched, 2 strikeouts, no hits, no walks, and no runs as well. So he actually had a really good day on the mound yesterday. The first pitch runs up and away to him, so he'll look to capitalize on the offensive side today.
Holbrook's got to be one of the biggest guys on this team, just in terms of sheer size.
Takes the 1-0 on the outside corner for strike 1, 1-1 the count. And he sports number 33, and he looks a lot like Chase Cockrell from Arkansas, who the Oaks are waiting in a couple of days. He'll be joining this team as the 1-1 comes in at the knees for strike 2.
He's listed at 6'4", 190.
Oh, that seems a little.
Yeah.
He has raw power. I mean, this guy can swing the bat when he's hot. So I would expect all 190 pounds apparently of him to be forced under the ball as he cracks one foul towards the first base side, 1-2 the count once again. But yeah, as I mentioned, he looks a lot like Chase Cockrell, the big Arkansas right-handed hitter that the Oaks had last season, and he's likely to be back here in a couple of days. Though he will not be able to get his numbers. Holbrook has taken number 33 from him. It'll be interesting to see how the two big bats for the Oaks try to figure out what number to give Cockrell. Conversation at the mound now between catcher Ryan McCourty and Dane Morrow. The Blues play up at Sinsheimer Stadium in Cal Poly, or in San Luis Obispo, I should say. It used to be the stadium for Cal Polytechnic University San Luis Obispo, but not anymore as the 1-2 runs upstairs, 2-2 the count. They converted it, and now it is a city-wide baseball field, but the Blues call it their home during the season. Morrow shakes off the first sign that McCarty gives him and deals the 2-2. Upstairs once again, a breaking pitch with not enough break, full count. Bryce Vitt and Raymond Gomez. The next two batters up as the 3-2 pitch is fouled back. And just missing the softball field where a club softball game is being taken place. Or being played, I should say. So no baseballs in that field, especially after that foul ball. 3-2 pitch once again from Morrow. Hit opposite field, but foul. We'll do it again for a third straight time. This is what you have to do on both sides. If you're a pitcher and if you're a batter, battle, battle, battle. The Oaks had trouble putting up hits early in the game. They didn't score until the fourth inning when they were down 4-0. They need to keep battling, keep fighting off these counts to get on base. The 3-2 popped up into right center field. A couple of fielders running back on it, but the second baseman, Jay Charleston, makes the catch for out number 1.
Jay Charleston showing off that range there. You saw his speed in the first inning on that triple to the wall. Shows it off again, going all the way to mid-right field to make that play.
One away here. Oaks down 2-1. And that'll bring up Bryce Vitt. The first pitch to him is a beautiful fastball on the outside part of the plate for strike 1. Vitt, the Pierce Junior College product, one of 6 on this Oaks team this year, though I wouldn't call Brandon Lewis and Will Pickett's Pierce College products as the 0-1 pitch runs low and away, 1-1 the count, because they both are now going to Division I schools. Pickett's headed to Cal State Bakersfield, and Lewis headed to UC Irvine in the fall. Morrow deals the 1-1. Missing low and away, 2-1 the count. Or low and inside, I should say.
Bryce Vitt, showed off exceptional patience this past year at Pierce.
Fouls off the 2-1, 2-2 the count.
He actually walked 29 times in 36 games. So in addition to a 294 average, he had a very high on-base percentage.
The 2-2 pitch popped up. And the catch is made by Justin Lutz out at first base. He caught off the catcher Ryan McCourty for out number 2. A couple pop-ups here for the Oaks to get both their outs in this inning. 1 run, 3 hits for them. No errors on either side. 2 runs, 2 hits for the visiting slow Blues. Able to get both their runs in the first inning. All right, Raymond Gomez digs in here from Oxnard College. Chops one over to short on the first pitch. Fielded and fired over to first by Perez for out number 3. Couple pop-ups and a ground out. Round out the second inning here for the Oaks. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. We're through 2 full here from Sparky Anderson Field. The Oaks are down 2-1 on the Oaks Broadcasting Network. Back here at Sparky Anderson Field. Oaks trailing 2-1. Welcome back, everybody. Jordan Brenner, myself, Jonathan Rifkin, Sean McKinnon, our producer for today's game. New pitcher on the mound for the Oaks, Eric Ma from Whitman College, takes the place of Brandon Ponticelli, who went 2 innings, gave 2 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 2 walks and a strikeout. Ma, the Oaks returner, in his second appearance now of the season, pitched 2 innings back on Sunday against the Cubs, gave 3 hits, 1 run, and 2 strikeouts. No walks. Talked to Eric before the game, and I asked him, you know, you have 3 years of eligibility. It's your second year with the Oaks. What are you working on? He said, the two-seamer and the split finger are the 2 pitches I am working on more than anything. And that split finger we saw on Sunday, Jordan, was phenomenal.
Oh, it was. I mean, we thought it was a curveball with how much movement we saw on it. We talked to Coach Sillies after the game. He told us, oh, that's a split finger. And we were just shocked because of how much movement. One of his bread and butter pitches.
Expect to see that split finger prevalent here today. The first pitch in the Charleston, bunt taken, pulled back, ball 1. Ma from Whitman College, took a red shirt last year. Still has 3 years of eligibility. Says he loves it up in Walla Walla as he deals the 1-0. Charleston cracks it foul out of play into the parking lot. That'll leave him the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Charleston reminds me a little bit of Andrew McCutcheon.
He does. He's fast. He has a long bat. He can see the field very well. He tripled to lead off the game. As the 1-1 comes in, painting the outside corner. That's the split finger we're talking about. 72 miles an hour on the gun, and just absolutely dead in his tracks with Jay Charleston.
Gotta paint like that when you're facing a guy like Charleston.
Ma deals the 1-2. Slapped foul down the third base line. Do it again. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Looks like Charleston may have broken his bat.
Sounded like it. The Blues use all wood bats. The Oaks use a composite bat. So it is an all wood bat, but it's made with carbon fiber. It's actually completely legal, but it's a lot harder to break. And personally, as a person who's not great at batting, I like it better because it's lighter. Wood bats, the full-on wood bats tend to be a little bit heavier. I know, Jordan, you want to call me weak. You can call me weak.
Is that the reason you don't like it? Because you're not a great batter, or is the reason you don't like it because you're not strong enough to use a normal wood bat?
The 1-2. Cutter over to third. Lewis Barry hands it, fires it over the first, but it is not in time as West makes a nice save to make sure that ball didn't go out of play. And that'll be an infield single here by Jay Charleston. He's 1 for 1. Excuse me, 2 for 2, my mistake, as he had that triple back in the first inning. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the visiting Blues. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for the Oaks. And I will answer your question, Jordan. I know everybody probably thought I forgot about it or just didn't want to respond, but the answer is I don't think I'm too weak. It's just I think I understand how to use a composite bat more because I'm not used to using something so heavy.
That's a fancy way of saying you're not strong enough.
Tanner Thompson steps in and takes a strike off the inside corner. Runner on first, nobody away here. Blues up 2-1. We'll reconvene in this conversation another time. I'll start hitting the gym for you, Brenner. Pickoff attempts, nothing doing those. The runner gets back safely.
Prove me wrong at intern batting practice.
Well, we will live stream our intern batting practice. How about that?
I like that.
And will see.
Let's get some StatCast on it too.
Oh, if you want to pay for it, the 0-1 is the split finger, painting the corner of the plate for strike 2. If you want to pay for StatCast, I will be happy to get StatCast here. But I don't know if Mike Sosha has that in the budget for the season.
I'll get back to you.
Okay. Call it the ownership group. The 0-2, speared right to second, caught by right, and he's going to fire it over to first in time for the double play. It was a hit and run. Charleston took off, but by the time that he got to second, that ball was caught in the air. That'll be an unassisted 4-3 double play for the Oaks.
Oaks caught a break there. Charleston would have made it to second. It would have acted as a sacrifice hit, but good hustle by right over at second to get to that ball and fire it over to first for the double play. Marco
Murillo checks in now. Walks his first time, but was caught stealing second as he deals the first pitch dealt to him. Is swung and a miss for strike 1. A little slider in the dirt. 0-1 the count. Oaks coming off of that 5-4 loss yesterday against the Blues. So Blues try to salvage another one. The 1-0 pitch swung and a miss. It actually should be the 0-1 pitch. Up on the board it says 1-1, but the count is 0-2. Our producer, Sean McKinnon, on top of it, as always. Very lucky to have him part of the Oaks staff this season. Madios, though, too. This one bounces in the dirt. Murillo wisely lays off 1-2 the count.
That's the first slider we've seen from Ma. He's been relying on that split finger and the fastball, trying to catch Murillo out in front with that slider for the first time.
Ma toes the rubber. Pearson fires the 1-1. Up and away, 2-2 the count. The Oaks had another Whitman College product on last year's team, Travis Craven. Travis did not play this past year at Whitman for undisclosed reasons. The 2-2. Low and away, and Murillo showing the patience, swinging and missing at 2 bad pitches to put himself into a hole, but Ma shying away from him now, and the count has been worked back up to full. Campbellsville product digs back in. The Whitman product deals the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. An off-speeder at 73 miles an hour gets Murillo swinging. The second strikeout for the Oaks on the day. The first for Ma. And that will do it here in the top of the third. No runs, no hits, or 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base. Oaks down 2-1. We'll be right back right here on the Oaks Broadcasting Network. Back here, bottom of the third inning. Elijah Alexander steps in for the Oaks, the number 9 hitter, and takes a strike. 0-1 the count. The Oaks down 2-1 here. 9-1 and 2 hitters due up. Alexander, Lucas, and Wright for the Oaks. As the left-handed hitter from University of Texas Rio Grande Valley swings the 0-1 pitch out of play. 0-2 the count. He's actually a local product, went to Camarillo High School and then Ventura College before transferring to UTRGV. Had a phenomenal season, batted over 285 with the team, a couple of home runs. Had 2 walk-offs. He had a walk-off in the regional about a month ago, or a couple weeks ago, and then he also walked off the first game of the season for the team. So he knows what it's like to be in the moment. As he skies one over to right field, running over, though, is Lipschitz, and he'll make the catch for out number 1. Andrew Lucas now will dig in here. Headed to CSUN in the fall from Camarillo. A couple of Camarillo products hitting back-to-back. Camarillo's not too far down the road for those who are unfamiliar with the area. About 25 minutes north of here on the 101 freeway. Lucas struck out looking for the first out for the Oaks of the game as he takes a pitch high for ball 1. Lucas had that grand slam back against the Cubs on Sunday. Cracks one foul, 1-1 the count.
Lucas looks to be in the market for some new baseball pants. A little bit short. Not getting all the way to his feet.
How do you know he doesn't like it that way?
I don't know.
Maybe we'll have to ask him. The 1-1, low, 2-1 the count.
The fashion police knows.
Well, I am one of the least fashionable people I know, so I am in no position to judge. The 2-1. Swung and a miss. Strike 2.
That's something we can agree on, Jonathan.
That you also are not a fashion expert?
No, that I agree.
That I am not a fashion expert.
That's right.
Got it. I thought you were empathizing with me.
Not at
The
all.
3-1 is skied to right field. Lipschitz will take a couple of steps back and make the catch for out number 2. We do look styling, though, in our Oaks polos, right? We can agree on that.
I can agree on that one.
Our general manager, Randy Riley, doing a phenomenal job designing our Oaks polos. If you want to see those polos, stick around for the postgame. If Oaks win on Periscope, you'll be able to see one of us featuring our navy blue and baby blue polo shirts. Tanner Wright digs in now 1-for-1 with a run scored. Takes a first pitch low and inside for ball 1. Playing in his home field here at Cal Lutheran University. Cal Lutheran team that's seen a very interesting last 2 years. The 1-0 pitch, skied into shallow center field. Murillo runs in, makes the dive, but can't make the catch. Right. Well, turn around first, but why does he go back? And I believe they will give him a hit because Murillo out of center had to make a dive, and they will. Wright is now 2 for 2 with a pair of singles. And he put the 2-out knock up on the board for the Oaks. So as I was saying, Cal Lutheran under head coach Marty Slimak, who has done a great job here for the Oaks, making sure that the field is ready and the team is accommodated for. They won the Division III championship last season, and this season they didn't even make a regional. Quite a fluctuation between last season and this season as Sam Shakin digs in. Takes the first pitch for ball 1. Wright has some speed over at first base. Wasn't even taking a lead as there was a toss over the first. Nothing doing. Now he takes about a step and a half off. Shakin digs in, shoulders that bat. Morrow toes the rubber, peers and fires the 1-0. At the knees for strike 1. Wind picking up now, more towards center, which is an interesting shift here in the Valley of Thousand Oaks. The 1-1. Slapped foul, 1-2 the count now to Shakin. Shakin from Chatsworth, California. Not too far down the road as well. A lot of local products here for the Oaks. His father, John, his uncle, Bill. Always a pleasure interacting with them on our social media feeds. Morrow deals, runner goes. 1-2 pitches low. The throw is in plenty of time. What a throw from behind the dish by Ryan McCourty, and that'll be out number 3. No runs hit, no errors, nobody left on base. We're through 3 full here from Sparky Anderson Field. The Oaks trail 2-1 right here on the Oaks Broadcasting Network. I need to... Four, five, and 6 hitters. Wow, excuse me. Due up here for the Blues for play-by-play of the 3, 4, and 5 innings. My broadcasting partner, Jordan Brenner.
First pitch quickly out to shallow right field. In to make the play for the Oaks is Lucas for the first out of the inning quickly.
Yeah, sorry about that, Brenner. Justin Lutz was the batter, by the way. He's now 0 for 1. He did have a walk.
Yes, he is, the Las Vegas native. Conager Sands, the third baseman, now stepping in. Sands on the day, an RBI base hit in the first inning. Out of Bakersfield. First pitch is outside for Ma, 1-0. Ma featured fastball split finger combination. I think it was only one slider.
There was actually two.
Maybe two.
Both thrown for balls, though.
1-0 pitch is taken outside, 2-0.
But that splitter was hitting, so I think that's the pitch he's been focusing on more so than anything, like I said earlier. And that's the pitch that he's been hitting with so far today.
Sands awaits the 2-0 pitch. Taken again, outside, 3-0. He walked yesterday on a 1-for-3 day at the plate. Also struck out. Three offering, a big swing and a miss, 3-1.
It's funny, you see that a lot. You're new to CCL baseball here, Jordan, or summer collegiate baseball. 3-0 pitches are swung on a lot, and more often than not, they're outs.
That would make sense, trying to prove yourself with some power. 3-1 is taken outside for the walk. And Sands is on for the second time today. Now stepping in is Luke Lipschitz, the right fielder from the University of Tennessee. Flied out to left field in his first plate appearance, the left-hander.
Couple of volunteers on this team. Jay Charleston leading off for the Blues, the other one. Tennessee normally well represented in the CCL.
Lipschitz takes off speed for the first pitch. Off the plate, 1-0. Lipschitz batted .125 this year at Tennessee. Only 24 at-bats, though. 1-0 pitch is over to first base for one. Not going to be able to rally for the double play.
3-6 put out for those keeping score. Good backhand by West over at first, and a heads-up play by Shaken to cover the bag, but not enough for the relay, but that's okay. Get the force out. Now you set yourself up for another double play.
Now with a runner on and 2 outs, Noah Taylor steps in. From Notre Dame High School, batted .337 at a high school with a great program in baseball. As Ma checks over at first on Lipschitz. Nothing doing. Taylor awaits the pitch, 88 miles an hour on the fastball away, 1-0. One and 0 pitch. In the dirt inside, 85 miles an hour, 2-0. Taylor steps out of the box, takes a deep breath, and now steps back in. Trying to do some damage with 2 outs in the inning. Ma offers. Fastball low. Taylor was on it, but he fouls it back to the screen. 2-1. Two outs in the inning. Lutz flew out to right field, a walk. Then to Sands, who was thrown at second base on the Lipschitz fielder's choice. Now Taylor steps in. There's the split finger in there, called a strike. What an advantage it is for Ma to be able to throw that splitter for a strike.
And he redshirted last season purposely to work on his pitching. And it's paying dividends already here in the summer.
2-2 pitch on the ground over to second base, flipped over to short. Tanner right to Sam Shaken for the third out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. One left on base here on the Oaks Broadcast Network.
Score
Leading off the bottom of
Back for the bottom of the fourth inning, Sam Shakin stepping in. He's 1 for 1 on the day with a base hit to left field. Shakin only 1 home run on the year. That is impressive, though. An opposite field shot off the bench. Shakin up hacking, and he swings and misses at the first pitch, 0-1. Shakin from West Hills, went to Valparaiso this past year. The 0-1 pitch. Shakin takes a heater in there, 0-2.
I talked to Sam before the game when they were taking batting practice, and I asked him, you're now playing in the Missouri Valley Conference, a much more competitive league than the Horizon League where Valparaiso was last season. He said, it was harder.
0-2 is skied out to right field. Shifting over is Lipschitz, and he makes the play for the first out of the inning. And here comes Brandon Lewis. Was up pumping in the first inning, a fly out to center field. Lewis well documented as one of the best hitters on this Oaks team. He'll be attending UC Irvine in the fall after playing at Pierce Community College this past year. First pitch to Lewis, upstairs, 1-0.
That was dangerous. You don't want to leave a pitch upstairs to Brandon Lewis. Lucky that missed.
Lewis actually led Pierce College in average at .419. Slugged 9 home runs also. And that one is lifted out to left field deep. Going back to the track is Thompson. He's at the wall. He drops it. Lewis is around second, heading for third, but he's going to stop at second base with a double. If not for the win, that's probably a home run for Brandon Lewis, but the first really loud contact for Brandon Lewis this year, we're going to expect that all season long.
now batting first baseman number 26, Bart.
That was the first sign that Brandon Lewis has shown up to the stadium. That was a deep ball, 374 feet. 375 is the home run route up there at left center, but nonetheless, a good double here for Lewis.
Bart West steps in for his second at-bat. Roped a double to right field in the first inning. Fastball lifted out of play, right side, 0-1. West has showed signs of being a really good rock in the middle of this Oaks lineup. Early in the season, has struggled with some strikeouts. Struck out twice yesterday. But has hit the ball hard when he does make contact. 0-1. On the ground left side, through the hole for a base hit. Lewis is going to be held at third base, but another base hit for Bart West. He's now 2 for 2.
Make me eat my words with those 2 strikeouts yesterday, and I'm happy he is because he is seeing the field a lot better today than I think he was the first 2 games. Cal Lutheran is interesting because it takes some guys a little bit of while to get used to it. It's actually a really nice field, but a little bit of bounce in the dirt. There's a little bit of elevation where the infield grass and the dirt meet, which is not common for most baseball fields. So some guys just need to get their feel, understand what the batter's box is like here, the batter's eye, how the field is. And I think West is quickly figuring it out and showing it through his performance.
Bailey Holbrook steps in with an RBI opportunity. Takes a fastball outside, 1-0. Holbrook flew out to second base in the first inning. He's been a frequent name on this broadcast, actually through 2 innings yesterday. The 1-0 pitch, upstairs, 2-0. In those 2 innings, he struck out 2 Blues hitters. Now a chance to do some damage on the other side of the ball. 2-0 to Holbrook. Morrow sets and fires. Low and away, 3-0. Morrow now in his 4th inning of work. He's fared relatively well. He's actually given up 6 hits to the Oaks. Only given up the 1 run. And the fastball is taken for ball 4 upstairs. And the bases are juiced now for Bryce Vitt, the catcher.
This is a big spot for the Oaks. Yesterday, most of their hits coming with 2 outs here. 1 away, bases loaded. This team is getting ready to explode. The offense on this team, I think if you look at the CCL through and through so far, this team is stacked with offensive talent. It's just about time for them to explode, to build that chemistry, to get the feel of the field, and to perform in the way that I think we're all expecting them to. And maybe this is that opportunity right here. Bases loaded down with only one out early in the game.
Bryce Vitt set for the first pitch, and he fouls it back out of play off the building right behind George Sparky Anderson Field. Vitt, the freshman from Westlake Village, California.
A good place to be from.
I'd say so. The 0-1 pitch. In the dirt, good block by the catcher McCarty. 1-1. Vitt played at Pierce this past year. 294, 25 RBIs. And a big RBI opportunity here. 1-1 pitch is fouled back to the screen, 1-2.
Look at how Morrow whips his arm around when he pitches. It's very interesting because he starts off very slowly, and then as he winds up, he brings his arm and almost slingshots that ball across to the plate. That is very hard for batters to pick up. And right there, a very good job by Vitt to at least fight that pitch off.
The 1-2 pitch to Vitt. Swung on and just foul tipped. Right on the dirt behind home plate, 1-2.
And that's one of those questionable swings, if you will. The batter says, you know what, I want to go around, and then halfway through holds up. Nonetheless, though, he was able to make contact and live to die for another pitch.
Vitt digs in for the 1-2 offering from Morrow. He gets his sign, sets, and offers. Off speed, lifted out to right center field. That's going to drop for extra bases. It's down against the wall. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. Vitt's rounding second, going for third. 3 runs are going to score for the Oaks on the RBI triple from Bryce Vitt. And the Oaks take the lead 4-2.
Beautiful triple right there. And we talked about how this team was ready to explode. Well, right there, Bryce Vitt showed you exactly what he was made of, going opposite field, skying it on a 1-2 count into no man's land and allowing all 3 of the base runners to score, giving his team the lead with only 1 away and still 90 feet away from scoring.
Brandon Lewis came around to score. Bart West followed. And then Bailey Holbrook was the 3rd run. Vitt was outrunning from the start out of the box. He knew that was going to fall. Just about 10 feet from being the 2nd grand slam of the year for the Oaks. But Vitt will take it, I'm sure. The Oaks putting up a crooked number, something they've struggled to do, or at least in yesterday's game. Ramon Gomez stepping in, trying to do some damage of his own. He grounded out to the shortstop in the 2nd inning. From Oxnard Community College. Gomez digs in. First pitch. Inside, almost hit him. 1-0. Elijah Alexander standing on deck. Vitt leading off of 3rd. Morrow gets his sign, and that's lined up the middle for a base hit, and another run will score for the Oaks. Vitt touches home plate, and Gomez checks in with an RBI base hit of his own.
I think we're seeing, as I believe we'll see a pitching change here for the Blues, I think we're seeing what we should be expecting all season long here from the Oaks. Explosive offensive play, finding no man's land out there, and driving and runs, stringing together hits. If this continues for this team, they're going to be fun to watch all season long.
We'll see if there's a pitching change in a second, but in the inning for the Oaks, 4 hits. And there's going to be a new pitcher. We'll send it to break. Already 4 in the inning for the Oaks. Let's see if there are more here on the Oaks Baseball Network. Back in for the bottom of the fourth inning. The Oaks already doing some damage in the inning. Already 4 runs. New pitcher in for the Blues is Clark Etter from San Diego State, the big right-hander. And his first challenge is Elijah Alexander. He flew out to center field in his first at-bat. Leading off of first is Ramon Gomez. He was the last straw for Dane Morrow. Had the RBI base hit up the middle that scored Bryce Vitt from third base. Alexander digs in. There's going to be a pause in play as the umpire talking to the pitcher, wanting to get him a new baseball.
Oh, maybe a deflated baseball. Maybe that's why they have to switch it out. Is Tom Brady around?
Maybe deflated because the Oaks have been hitting it too hard.
I think that's a more likely case.
Gomez off of first. Alexander steps in for the first pitch. Etter gets his sign, kicks and fires. A fastball. Alexander was swinging. Fouls it back to the screen and out of play. 0-1. Alexander out of Camarillo, California. As you said, played his first year at UT Rio Grande
Valley.
Rio Grande Valley.
I love that name of that school. I think it's so cool.
Agreed. The 0-1 pitch to Alexander. The kick and the pitch. Ooh, did it hit him in the foot? Either way.
No, they're saying it bounced before it hit him.
They're going to say it bounced before it hit him.
The ground got in the way of his free base there, yeah. Well, they're saying that because it bounced, and now Coach Solis is coming out to have a conversation.
Yeah, because the runner, Gomez, took off from first base to head to second base. So even if it wasn't a hit by pitch, you'd think that Gomez belongs on second base.
I've never seen... Right, he got to second base regardless. So he should be on second base. The question is Alexander knows he shouldn't be on first, and I think that's the conversation that's being had right here is Gomez was at second base.
He was. He had the base stolen.
So there was no reason, unless they call an offensive player interference in that case, because technically Alexander impeded on the path of the ball to the catcher. That may be the reason that Gomez isn't allowed to advance to second.
Either way, Gomez is going to remain on first base. And Alexander faces a 1-1 count now. With an out in the inning. Etter gets his sign. Holds and now pitches. Big off-speed curveball, 73 miles an hour, catches the corner. 1-2. Elijah Alexander hit .281 this past year at UT Rio Grande Valley.
You can call it Rio Grande. I'm just messing, Brenner.
1-2 from Etter. Outside in the dirt, 2-2.
And they're pitching away from Alexander, which is exactly what the scouting report says. He can pull that ball so well out to right field. And in batting practice, if you want to show, you watch this kid hit some monster bombs over that right field fence.
2-2 to Alexander. He got the big hit in last game that tied the game for the Oaks late in that one. Takes off speed in the dirt. Nice block from McCarty. 3-2. Alexander got that hit in the 7th inning that tied the game at 4. Completed the Oaks comeback. They were down 4-0 after the top of the 3rd inning. Full count now to Alexander. The payoff pitch. Runner goes on the ground over to first base. Tagging first is Lutz for the 2nd out of the inning. A productive out for Alexander, though.
Hit and run on right there and executed, I would say, to perfection under the circumstance. If he got a hit, obviously that would be more preferable for the coaching staff, but that was the reason. In case he grounded out, which is what they did, he hit it on the ground on purpose because that was the sign. In case he grounded out, at least they had the assurance that they would have a runner in scoring position.
Andrew Lucas now checking in. 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout and a flyout. Now an opportunity to get Gomez in on second base. First pitch. Fastball low, 1-0.
Yeah, Lucas trying to capitalize on a 0 for 2 day, or at least turn it around.
1-0. Header checks second base, kicks and fires. Big swing and a miss. 1-1.
Home run swing right there. It's a little bit early.
Had the big grand slam. Hasn't shown too much pop since. But everybody knows it's in the tank. Gomez leads off second base. Lucas waggles his bat for the 1-1 pitch. Eder checks the runner and offers. Line down the third base line. Gomez rounding third, he will score. Lucas rounding first, he'll head to second base for a double. And another RBI hit for the Oaks. They can't seem to miss. Now 5 runs in the inning.
Well, that will be the last earned run for Morrow on today's game. Goes out with 6 now on the bench. But you talk about pop. That had a lot of pop. And pop doesn't necessarily mean a ball hit in the sky, a sky ball elsewhere. It means popping it hard enough where it's going to get you on base. And that's exactly what Lucas did. He showed the pop that we've been missing since that first game. And now he's staying on second base with an RBI under his belt.
Tanner Wright steps in, the second baseman. He's 2 for 2 with 2 base hits. Came around to score in the first inning. Takes the first pitch in the dirt. 1-0. Wright was caught stealing back in the third inning after a single to center field. 1-0. Eder checks the runner at second base. Beautiful two-seam fastball that catches the corner. In there for a strike, 1-1. 6 runs on 9 hits for the Oaks, 2 runs on 3 hits for the Blues. No errors on either side as Eder steps off to take a deep breath.
It is quiet at the ballpark today.
Eder was thrown into a difficult situation. Another two-seam fastball, maybe a changeup actually on the corner. 1-2. Similar movement on the 2 pitches. 1-2, 2 outs in the inning. Andrew Lucas standing off of second base. Right away it's the 1-2 pitch. Big off speed that gets by McCarty, the catcher. Lucas takes advantage. He rounds third with a big turn. He was thinking about coming home.
Wild pitch in the scorebook. Breaking pitch that bounced about a foot in front of the plate and went right under the legs of McCourty. It's hard to get your body down in front of that when you're expecting a pitch high, which is where he had his glove placed.
2-2, 2 outs. Lucas now leads off of third base. Sam Shaken awaits on deck. If he hits, the Oaks will have hit around. Off speed, fouled off the left side. Grounded over to the third base coach.
That pitch had some nice movement to it up towards the shoulder where Eder released it. Had some downward motion. A little bit early on it was right, but able to fight it off.
Wright digs in for the 2-2 offering. Fastball lifted out to shallow center field. That will drop for a base hit. The Oaks have hit around. Coming in to score is Lucas. And Wright checking in with his third base hit of the day. Finally awarded with an RBI of his own.
Shortstop, for 25, Sam Shaken.
Nice hit there, and it almost seemed like Murillo out of center field took a step back, and that's why he allowed that ball to drop. He didn't really give himself enough space or enough time off the bat to run up to that ball and make the catch, so that allowed Lucas to come in and score and Wright to stand on first.
Shaken digs in for a second at-bat of the inning. He's 1 for 2. Takes an off-speed pitch in the dirt, 1-0.
Oaks do have some speed over at first. Wright was caught stealing in the third, but we know he can get that jump and go. With 2 away, though, in a 6-2 lead, I'm not exactly sure, though, if Coach Wilson over at third will send him.
Wright gets a sizable lead off of first base. Shaken awaiting the 1-0 offering. Header checks the runner at first and delivers a fastball that almost hits Shaken in the left arm. He turns out of the way. 2-0. Shaken with a base hit to left field in the first inning. Flew out to right earlier in this one. 2-0 pitch. Off-speed offering. Off the plate 3-0. Interesting decision to go off-speed when that far behind in the count.
Yeah, but on 2-0, that's a hitter's count. So if you can get Shaken swinging at a bad pitch, it helps you bring yourself back into account. Unfortunately, though, for the pitcher, Shaken was able to lay off.
3-0 pitch. Shaken takes ball 4 inside. And now Brandon Lewis in there for his second at-bat of the inning. He doubled to start off the rally. Earlier in the inning, he came around to score. Roped the double to left field. Just a few feet away from a home run, his first of the summer. Now a chance to do more damage for Lewis. And there's going to be a conference on the mound to discuss how to approach Lewis, who even though hasn't gotten off to the power start that we might expect from him, he's been hitting the ball all over the yard so far, spraying base hits the opposite way to left field. He's been locked in. So Shaken is off of first base. Tanner Wright off of second base. Brandon Lewis now in for his second at-bat of the inning. He's 1 for 2. Clark Eder checks the runner at second, kicks and fires. Lifted out to shallow right field. The second baseman, Charleston, over to make the play. In the inning for the Oaks, 5 hits. That took me a second. On 6 runs, no errors, and 2 left on base. That was a mouthful. We go to break here on the Oaks Baseball Network.
Number 14.
Eric Ma back on the mound to start off the top of the 5th inning for the Oaks. Brian McCarty, the catcher, stepping in. First pitch. There's that split finger again, 68 miles an hour at the knees, 0-1.
Oh, that is filthy from Ma.
McCarty out of Santa Ynez. Beautiful little town. Fastball taken upstairs and in, 1-1.
One of the best burgers I've ever had was at the Santa Ynez Municipal Airport, believe it or not.
I don't believe it. 1-1. Fastball taken for strike 2.
You know what, Jordan? If you don't believe me, I'll be happy to take you there myself one day and show you.
I think I'm busy that day. 1-2. There's the splitter again, 2-2. That one in the dirt. And McCarty, 0 for 1, grounded into a 6-4-3 double play. Back in the second inning. 2-2 pitch. Off speed on the corner, called strike 3. Vitt around the horn on the strikeout. What a beautiful pitch again.
Second strikeout for Ma, and again on that split finger fastball. It is just so hard to hit. So the Oaks have a couple of guys warming up now in their pen, but it's hard to say, you know what, we should pull Eric Ma, but they will because they need to let him settle. A lot of these pitchers are only going to pitch a max of 2 innings for the Oaks in the beginning part of the season.
First pitch into Quinton Perez. He shows bunt, but takes a strike. He pulled the bat back. 0-1. Perez went 1 for 3 with an RBI, a walk, and a strikeout yesterday. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout today. Takes the splitter in the dirt, 1-1. What's really impressed me about Ma, he can throw the splitter for a strike at the top of the zone. He can throw for a strike at the bottom of the zone, and he can also bounce it in the dirt for an out pitch. 1-1 pitch. Fastball lifted to the left side. Lewis over to have a look near the dugout, and he makes a basket catch to record the second out of the inning.
You talk about the arsenal that Ma has, definitely more than what he had last year with the Oaks. He's more confident on the mound. He's pitching more effectively. His movement's better. His speed is better, and he's definitely become a multifaceted pitcher. You mentioned he can get you with a high fastball, low splitter, or pitch in the dirt. And as a batter, you have to be very wary of that because a pitcher with that kind of arsenal is very, very dangerous.
Jay Charleston, 2 for 2 today, 5 for his last 6. And he takes a ball low, 1-0. And this is how you want to face Charleston, with the base paths empty. 1-0 for Ma. Just a bit outside, 2-0.
It's like David Appleby warming up for the Oaks in their pen. So he's told me before the game he will likely go 2 to 3 innings, which is more than any other Oaks pitcher. So they prepare for him to go to Michigan in the fall.
2-0 for Charleston. And he takes a fastball upstairs, 3-0. Charleston, if he does walk, still a threat to get into scoring position. He showed off the wheels with a nifty play at second base, the triple in the first inning as well. And a 4-pitch walk to Charleston, who throws his bat towards the dugout and walks over to first. Now stepping in is Tanner Thompson for the Blues.
Outfielder number 43, Tanner Thompson.
Hit an RBI ground out in the first inning to score Charleston. That got the scoring off for the Blues. Flew out into a double play in the third inning. A 4-3 put out there. Ma checks on Charleston over at first. 2 outs in the inning. A 7-2 Oaks lead after the 6-run fourth inning. Ma gets a sign from Vitt. Charleston takes a big lead, and there he goes. Vitt pops up, throws over to second. Not in time. A very close play at second base, but Charleston gets in under the tag.
That was very close indeed. A very good jump. A nice throw from Vitt, but the speed just a little bit too much. And a nice steal there by Charleston.
Thompson, another RBI opportunity, trying to get his second, maybe third of the day. 0-1 pitch is the splitter on the corner. Man, that pitch is so tough to tackle. When you're facing an 84-mile-an-hour heater, it's not that tough. But when you can drop in a 68, 69-mile-an-hour splitter, it makes it hard to catch up to. And he follows it up with that fastball upstairs, 1-2. Charleston leading off of second base. He walked and stole, and there he goes to third base. There was a ball on the pitch, and that's thrown to the right of Lewis, and Charleston has stolen 2 bases in the inning.
Lewis was very smart. He couldn't make the catch, but he was at least able to knock that ball down and stop it from advancing into left field. If he did, or if he did not stop that ball from advancing into left field, that would have been an easy score for Charleston. The last thing the Oaks want to do is give the Blues any sign of life here with 2 away.
2-2 pitch on the corner, called strike 3 for Ma. Gets out of the inning with no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. 7-2 Oaks. We head to break. We'll be right back. Back for the bottom of the 5th inning. Clark Etter in for a second inning of work. Well, actually, he's in to complete his first inning of work. He came in with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th inning. In that 4th inning, the Oaks put up 6 runs. Bart West stepping in to lead off. First pitch from Etter. Gets his sign. A slow windup, and here's the pitch. Fastball that sinks right below the bat of West. 0-1. West 2 for 2. Roped a double, an RBI double, I should say, in the 1st inning to right field. And then he had another base hit for an RBI yesterday. Maybe not an RBI. 1-1.
Batting average now has creeped up to 250, though. Not too shabby for the USC Trojan. And only 8 at-bats, so expect that to creep up a little bit more as the season progresses.
1-1 offering. Slow off speed, West out in front, 1-2.
That was a beautiful pitch right there. And you try to get ahead in a count, and you know you have the batter right where you want them. You throw off speed and get them out ahead.
1-2 offering. Fastball roped to left field, another hit for West. He's 3 for 3. A line shot over the glove of Perez at shortstop. What a great day for Bart West so far.
Yeah, and the USC Trojans are going to get a gem in the fall when he heads back there for his first official season with the team. He has finally found his sweet spot here at Cal Lutheran and performing very well in today's game.
Bailey Holbrook stepping in for his second at-bat. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and a flyout. Takes a fastball outside off the plate. 1-0. Holbrook is DHing today. He threw 2 innings yesterday. Shohei Ohtani-esque. 1-0 to Holbrook. West leads off first. Fastball outside on the corner. 1-1.
Are you saying because he pitched 2 scoreless innings, he's like Shohei Ohtani? Or are you saying because he does both sides of the ball, he shows Shohei Ohtani?
The second option.
Okay, good. I just wanted to be on the same page as you here, Brenner.
1-1. West leads off of first. Off speed upstairs, 79 miles an hour. 2-1. Holbrook, a resident of Thousand Oaks. So, a home game for him. 2-1. Big swing, and he lifts it, fouling out of play.
Almost hit the bystander out there behind us in the baseball, or outside the baseball park, but luckily he saw that ball and was able to get out of the way in time.
2-2. Crowd filling in nicely here at George Sparky Anderson Field. Cool day. West is checked on at first by Etter. He's back safely.
The Oaks have to enjoy these cool days while they can get them, because come next week, it's going to start to be blistering hot at game time, but very cold towards the end of the game. Very bipolar weather here in Thousand Oaks.
2-2 pitch. Kicks and fires. Curveball outside, 3-2. 11 hits for the Oaks today. 7 runs. 2 runs on only 3 hits for the opposing Blues. They maybe had the Blues at the plate so far. 3-2. Lifted fouling out of play left side. Onto the softball field.
So I think thus far in the game, it's safe to say that Oaks, at least for the time being, have answered the bell and changing their fortunes from what happened last game.
I would say so too. Yesterday they got a lot of their hits with 2 outs. This inning, this game, they're stringing together rallies throughout the inning. Full count pitch to Holbrook. Swung on and missed. He strikes out for the first out of the inning.
Nice strikeout pitch right there from Etter. Off speed, had Holbrook out in front, and that has been his pitch so far here today. It's been hard to get a lot of these Oaks players out, but that off-speed pitch seems to be working here for the Blues. I wouldn't be too surprised to see them keep going with that off-speed pitch. Leighton counts.
Vitt steps in, 1 for 2. First pitch, a fly ball out to shallow right field. Charleston over to make the play for the second out of the inning. He was up hacking after that triple in his last at-bat. This time wasn't as lucky. Ramon Gomez now stepping in. An RBI base hit in his last at-bat. He's 1 for 2. Grounded out to shortstop back in the second inning. Eder kicks and fires. First pitch is a curveball that bounces, but still called a strike.
I'm not sure if it bounced or if the catcher, McCourty, just mishandled it. I agree with you. It looked from our perspective like it did bounce in the dirt, but again, I think McCourty just may have mistimed his catch.
Either way, it's 0-1. West leading off of first. Gomez waves his bat in a crouched position. Here's the pitch. Fastball lined out of play towards the parking lot. Out of the stadium, but not quite a fair ball. 0-2. Gomez takes his long ritual batting stance. 0-2 pitch is lined out to left field. Not deep. Thompson goes back and makes the play to end the inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. 7-2 Oaks. We're through 5 full here on the Oaks Baseball Network.
Your attention, please.
Back in for the top of the 6th inning. New pitcher for the Oaks is Jerry Ramirez. Pitched last year at Glendale Community College. 14 appearances, 1 start, a 4-2 record, and 35 1/3 innings pitched. Pitched that to a 4.08 ERA.
How about Eric Ma coming out here in place of Ramirez? In 3 innings, only 1 hit. No runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Pretty good day for the Whitman College product.
Hitting up the 6th for the Blues, center fielder number 16, Marco Murillo.
Marco Ramirez checks the runner. Kicks and fires. Curveball in the dirt. The runner goes. Vitt throws to second anyway. In time to get him. What an arm. And the Oaks escape the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. 7-2 Oaks through 6.5 innings. You're listening to Oaks Baseball here at George Sparky Anderson Field. We'll be right back. Back in for the bottom of the 6th inning. Elijah Alexander stepping in against the new pitcher, Ben Kirk from Grand Canyon University.
Come in for Eder, who went 2 2/3, three hits, 1 run. It was earned, 1 walk, 1 strikeout.
Alexander stands at 5'9", 185 pounds. First pitch from Kirk. Heater off the plate. Oh, excuse me, on the edge. 0-1. Alexander, before attending UT Rio Grande Valley this past year, went to Ventura College, and he hit .350 there. 0-1 pitch is skied out of play behind home plate onto the softball field again.
He was one of those highly touted players out of community college in the country. Elijah Alexander, and UTRGV is very lucky to have him. As I mentioned, a couple of walk-offs this season, including one recently and towards the end of the season.
0-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss on the curveball in the dirt. Alexander hustling to first to no avail. And he strikes out for the first out of the inning. And that's what he struggled on, watching him in his first couple starts of the year. He's able to lift that fastball and drill it all around the park. But when he gets to 2 strikes and he faces that off-speed pitch in the dirt, he really struggles. Andrew Lucas now stepping in for his 4th at-bat. He's 1 for 3 with a flyout, a strikeout, and he doubled to left field in this last at-bat. He takes a fastball on the shoulder, runs over to first base like a champ. That didn't bug him. To him, it's just another opportunity to score. Tanner Wright steps in from Vegas. Actually played at Cal Lutheran University this past year. He's 3 for 3, 3 base hits, all of them to left field.
And you know what's interesting is Cal Lutheran is a D3 school, but these guys, when they come and play here at summer ball, play like D1 players. They are phenomenal to watch on their home turf.
Lucas going from first base. The first pitch is high. Lucas is tagged on the foot in time For the second out of the inning, he's caught stealing. What a beautiful throw from McCarty behind home plate. The catchers have done a really good job today on both sides. Both Bryce Fitt and Ryan McCarty throwing out runners at second base.
That was a beautiful throw and an even more elegant tag right on that right foot. Hard to place a tag right there.
Tanner right now up with nobody on base. He takes the fastball off the plate, and he's ahead 2-0. Sam Shaken waiting on deck. He's 1 for 2 with a walk and a base hit to left field. Umpire exchanging a new ball for Ben Kirk. The 2-1 pitch to right. 2 outs in the inning. Takes off speed in the dirt, 3-1. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the visiting Blues. 7 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the Conejo Oaks. The 3-1 pitch. Off the plate, a little bit upstairs, and Wright doesn't mind that. He heads to first base on the walk.
Good take. It's hard to tell with pitches like that because it can go either way. Letter high, maybe just off the right portion of the plate, but good job by Wright holding back, showing that he has some resolve in the batter's box and able to stride over the first with a free base.
Now right off of first with some speed as well. He takes a big lead after the pitch, which is high and inside 1-0. Shaken. Digs in. Waits the pitch. Fastball on the ground to third base, Sands. Sidearm over to first to Lutz in time to get him. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 man left on for the Oaks. We're through 6 innings here on the Oaks Broadcast Network. Back in for the top of the 7th inning. A 7-2 Oaks lead, and for the rest of the game, here's play-by-play by Jonathan Rifkind.
Thank you, Jordan. 6-hitter steps in. Luke Lipschitz for the Blues and takes a first pitch ball by Jerry Ramirez. 7-2 Oaks. Great job as always by my broadcasting partner, Jordan Brenner. 0-1 is dealt low and away for ball 1. 1-1 the count. On the day for Lipschitz. Plays out in right field in the field. 0 for 2. Hit into a fielder's choice and also flew out to left in his 2 at-bats. The 1-1. On the outside corner. 1-2 the count. Lipschitz digs back in. The 1-2 runs low and away. 2-2 the count. 7 runs, 11 hits for the Oaks. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors on either side. The Blues with those 2 runs, 3 hits. They haven't gotten a hit since the 3rd inning. They had 1 hit then and 2 hits in the first, and that was all their offense. The 2-2 bounces in the dirt. 3-2 the count. The Blues are under new management, if you will, this year. Dan Marple, their head coach, came in the middle of last season as an interim head coach, and then they officially signed him to be their skipper for this season. The payoff pitch by Ramirez. Bounces it in the dirt. Ball 4. Lipschitz walks. They kick off the 7th inning here for the Blues. Second walk of the game for Ramirez. But Coach Dan Marple has quite a history, not only in baseball, but in the area. He was, for 26 years, he served as a California highway patrolman for the Ventura and San Luis Obispo area. He was also drafted by the Orioles twice out of college. That's Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Played for 3 years in their AA organization. As Taylor steps in and takes the first pitch low for ball 1. His son plays in the Phillies organization. He has been for the last 6 years. And general manager Adam Stowe for the Blues as the 1-0 pitch is cracked back, 1-1 the count. Adam Stowe said, "We are very, very lucky to have Coach Marple. Dan has always been high on our list. He's a local and has an ample experience, or he's local and has ample experience in baseball, but most of all, he cares about the players. All of those attributes are extremely important to us." So Dan Marple looking to continue the good season the Blues have kicked off with as the 1-1 pitch is a fastball, swung and a missed for strike 2. These two teams will be playing 6 times this season. I guess 4 more times after today. And it's always fun between these two teams. The last 2 years, the playoff hopes for both of these teams have come by way of a matchup. The 1-2 pitch, a 2-hopper over to Shaken at short, underhanded to right at first, or excuse me, at second. The relay is not in time as it gets past the outstretched glove and goes into the dugout. That'll be an error, and the runner will advance to second base. So a 6-4 putout, 6-4 fielder's choice, if you will, allows Taylor to go to first, and he advances to second on the error by right. Runner on second, 1 away here. And Ryan McCourty digging in, 0 for 2 on the day with a 6-4-3 double play and a strikeout looking under his belt. We'll look to try and generate some offense here for the Blues, down 7-2 late in this game. The final 3 innings looming. Ramirez toes the rubber, checks that runner at second, and deals the first pitch. Cracked to Shaken once again at short. This time he fires it over the first for out number 2. Runner advances over to third on the play. Shaken, a phenomenal middle infielder. Gets the job done more often than not, especially when it's a hard infield here to play on sometimes at Cal Lutheran. Those balls can take some weird bounces.
I was just about to say, Shaken doing his best stand low on that ball at shortstop. It looked easy. But when you have an infield that's so unpredictable like this one here at Cal Lutheran University, you got to really stay low. Stay as low as the ball so that it'll bounce off of your chest if it takes a weird hop and not over your head.
Quentin Perez now digs in. 0 for 2 in the number 9 spot. Cracks one up the middle for an RBI single. Tosses his bat almost in walk-off fashion as the Blues are able to knock up another run. 7-3 the score now here in the top of the 7th inning.
Looked like he won the World Series with that bat flip.
Yeah, that was Joey Bat-esque from back in the day. Nonetheless, well done here for the Blues. The first hit given up by Ramirez and the first run as well. 7-3 the score now. 4 hits, no errors for the visiting Blues. 7 runs, 11 hits, 1 error for the Oaks. The Blues a storied franchise. They had a couple of guys go in the draft today. And speaking of that, as head coach David Solis strides out to the mound here and has a conversation with Ramirez, Oaks had 3 former players drafted in today's draft. Ty Harpenau, for those who remember, from 2 years ago from Texas Tech, went in the 16th round. Cody Farhat, also from Texas Tech from 2 years ago, went in the 23rd round. And Isaiah Campbell, the pitcher from Arkansas, went in the 24th round. For those who remember, on July the 4th, 2 years ago, the Oaks played Team USA at Angel Stadium, and Isaiah Campbell shut down Team USA through the first 6 innings of the game. The Oaks were actually down 1-0 going to the 7th inning, and that's when they gave it up and ended up losing to Team USA 7-0. J.T. Bukowskis, the Fresno State product, was the pitcher for the game for Team USA and was absolutely phenomenal. Definitely one of the most exciting Oaks games through the first 7 innings of all time. No pitching change, though, as the meeting breaks, and we go back to the top of the order for Jay Charleston. He skies the first pitch in the left center field. Running up over to it is Alexander, and he makes the grab. for out number 3. Not before 1 run comes around on 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 left on base. We're through 6.5 from George Sparky Anderson Field. The Oaks lead 7-3. We'll be right back.
Lewis.
Bottom of the 7th we go. Jordan Brenner, myself, Jonathan Rifkin, our producer Sean McKinnon with you on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon from Cal Lutheran. Oaks have a day off tomorrow before being back here against the Academy Barons, but first some business to take care of here. The second half of the ball game. Brandon Lewis steps in and takes a first pitch ball, 1-0 the count. Lewis on the day is 1 for 2. Check that. He's actually 1 for 3 with a couple of flyouts and a double that led to him scoring in the 4th. The 1-0 runs outside for Kirk. 2-0 the count. And for Lewis, as I mentioned, he was the guy who started it all back in the 4th inning. 4th inning that saw the Oaks plate 6 runs. 2-0 pitch. Sliced back foul, very high but very out of play. With the strike up on the board, 2-1 the count. 7 runs, 11 hits, and an error for the Oaks. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Blues. In game number 2 of the weekday series. Blues took yesterday's game 5-4, though. The Oaks responding here, up 7-3 as the 2-1 pitch becomes 3-1 as a fastball gets up and inside to Lewis. Brandon Lewis, or his friends call him B-Lou. Head to UC Irvine in the fall after batting stellar at Pierce College. A 3-1 from Kirk. Nabs the inside jersey of Lewis, and he'll take his base regardless of that being ball 4 or not, and the Oaks get a leadoff batter on here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Lewis almost took that one on the wrist. And you do not want to take one on the wrist if you're a guy like Brandon Lewis. When your stock is just going up year after year, one fastball to the wrist could end it all.
Very lucky indeed as we get a slow walk up here for the Oaks. And Bart West, as there was a quick meeting at the mound between McCourt and Kirk. First pitch to West, taken inside for strike 1.
West 3 for 3 today. A double and 2 singles.
He has been phenomenal. Breakout game for Bart West in game number 3 of the young season. The 0-1. Almost the same position. McCourt tried to place it, but the umpire did not bite. 1-1 the count. To be able to place a pitch is definitely a skill. Not all catchers have it. The 1-1. This is 2-1 the count. The Blues this season opened up against the Santa Maria Packers. They had a 4-game series. Split it 2-2. Won 16-0 on May 27th. A lot of offense. Runner goes. The 2-1 pitch misses inside. The throw. Is it not in time? Brandon Lewis It's the second stolen base of the season. Displaying the wheels from first, and he's on into scoring position now here for the Oaks. 3-1 count to West.
You hear people often talk about how many tools a player has. In my few games broadcasting this team, it really seems like Brandon Lewis is a 5-tool player, and you don't say that a lot. That's a very highly coveted thing in the baseball community.
That's why Lewis is one of the most highly touted junior college players in the country. So originally supposed to go to CSUN last season and then decided not to. 3-1 is going opposite field to right. Is that going to stay fair? No, it won't, as it bounces in the bullpen, bringing the count full. Lewis was originally committed to CSUN last year, then pulled out of his commitment, went back to Pierce for another year. Head coach Pickett was happy to have him, and now he's headed to UC Irvine, where he will explode in the West WCC. Full count, runner on second, nobody to wait. Bottom of the seventh, Oaks up 7-3. Payoff pitch here to West. In the dirt, ball 4, back-to-back walks. If you call the hit by a pitch a walk to Lewis, the Oaks have 2 on with nobody away. Second walk of the day for Kirk, 4th overall for the Blues. And now Bailey Holbrook is 0 for 2 with a walk, a run scored, a strikeout, and a pop-out. Will dig in here into left-handed batter's box with runners on first and second base. And how about the Blues? In their wins in the last week, they won 16-0, 14-10, 12-6, and 11-10. That is an incredible amount of offense. 3 games against the Expos, the California Expos, and 4 games against the Packers. None of them CCL games. The first pitch is sliced over to right field, caught by Lipschitz, and runners will stay put at first and second, out number 1 up on the board. Holbrook got a lot of that one, but not enough pop under it, so it went right into the right fielder's glove.
I don't know if our viewers caught it, but the throw from Luke Lipschitz out in right field. Quite an arm. One hopper right on the money over to the third baseman, Sands. Something to watch for if the Oaks get a runner over to third here. Don't want to test that arm.
Bryce Vitt now digs in here. 1 for 3 with a RBI, 3 RBI triple. A couple of pop-outs in foul territory as well. Kirk deals the first pitch. A strike over the heart of the plate. Very methodical release here for Kirk. Not a lot of speed in that windup, but the release is very methodical and very mechanical. The 0-1 in the dirt gets away from McCourty, but runners will stay put. 1-1 the count. Looking ahead for both these teams, they both have a day off tomorrow. The Blues will head up north, back to Cal Poly, or back to San Luis Obispo, I should say, to host the Healdsburg Prune Packers for a 2-game series. Before hosting Arroyo Seco Saints on the 12th. The 1-1 paints the outside corner, 1-2 the count. For the Oaks, they have an off day as well tomorrow. We'll be back here at 4:30 on Friday, 4:15 pregame show for the Academy Barons. The first of a 3-game series, though the series does switch to MLB Urban Youth Academy on Saturday at 1 o'clock and 1 o'clock on Sunday as well. 12:45 pregame show for both those days. The 1-2. Did it hit him? No. Just went up and in, 2-2 the count.
And I don't think a better way to spend my birthday on Friday. Looking forward to celebrating here with the Oaks family.
Oh, you're looking forward to celebrating it with me on the broadcast, huh?
Always.
Well, I have a nice little present for you. The 2-2 in the dirt. Payoff pitch now pending as the count is 3-2. Feel free to tweet at us. I have a Twitter question for you all, or a YouTube question. What can I do to honor Jordan Brenner on his birthday live on the air on Friday? Tweet us your answers at Caneo_Oaks. I'm at Johnny Riff with 2 F's at the end. He's at Jordan Brenner 31. Payoff pitch, runner goes. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, out number 2 up on the board now. It is sent back to the bench. Second strikeout for Kirk on the day, and runner advances from second to third on the no throw. Will be scored in a catcher's indifference. Though Bart West stays put at first base as Ramon Gomez checks in. So, like I said, as you see our Twitter handles were just up there, feel free to tweet at us. Give me ideas. How can I honor my broadcasting partner on his birthday on Friday? I look forward to hearing your ideas. First pitch to Gomez is fouled back. 0-1 the count.
New car.
Yeah, let's keep it reasonable. How about that? If I could afford a new car, I'd get one myself. Though I think the goodness in it would be giving it to you, of course.
I appreciate that.
0-1. Breaking pitch in the dirt. 1-1 the count. I don't know. We'll maybe get you like a cupcake or something. How about that?
Cupcakes are always good.
I'm sure Sean is very excited to film you eating your birthday cupcake on Friday. He gives us a little nod over here. He's very excited. The 1-1 runs upstairs. 2-1 the count. Never a dull moment on the Oaks broadcast, I can tell you that. It's been a slow second half of the game, but I hope everybody's enjoying it. I know we are here up above the press box at Sparky Anderson Field. Gomez on the day, 1 for 3 with a single run score, a ground out, and a fly out. The 2-1. One hopper over to third, fielded by Sands, and he fires it over to first in time for out number 3. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. We're through 7 full here from George Sparky Anderson Field. The Oaks lead the Blues 7-3. We'll be back after this on the Oaks Broadcasting Network. Top of the 8th. Welcome back, everybody. George Sparky Anderson Field on the beautiful campus of Cal Lutheran in Thousand Oaks, California. He's Jordan Brenner. My name is Jonathan Rifkin. Sean McKinnon, our producer for today's game. We have a new pitcher on the mound for the Oaks. David Appleby coming in place of Jerry Ramirez, who went 2 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. David Appleby, an Oaks returner. He headed to Michigan in the fall from Santa Barbara City College. We have a pinch hitter in place of Tanner Thompson, though. We did not get the number of who it was as the first pitch to the new batter runs low for ball 1. Thompson's day is done, though, however. Went 0 for 3 with an RBI ground out, a double play ball, and a strikeout looking. The 1-0 pitch from Appleby is low, 2-0 the count. Appleby pitched on Sunday in an inning, had a strikeout, no other stats recorded. The 2-0. Whipped over the heart of the plate for strike 1. 2-1 the count. Appleby played at Santa Barbara City College. Was originally committed to Utah a couple years back. Decided not to go. Now is headed to Michigan in the fall. Deals the 2-1 away. 3-1 the count. That pitch at 90 miles an hour on the gun. Middle infield playing towards the grass as Appleby deals the 3-1. Called strike on the lower inside corner, or outside corner of the plate, I should say. Batter thought he had a ball 4, but nonetheless, we have a full count now. Marco Murillo waiting patiently on deck as Appleby deals the payoff pitch. Cracked foul, will do it again.
On a chilly day like this, you're not going to see too many home runs. So it has me wondering, Jonathan, what's the longest home run in Caneo Oaks history? At least ones that you've seen.
Great question, and I'll answer that after this pitch. Appleby toes the rubber, takes the sign from his catcher, Bryce Veet, and deals the payoff pitch. Once again, cracked foul. We'll do it again for a third time. So 2 years ago, Chad Spanberger, who was drafted in the 6th round last year in Major League Baseball by the Colorado Rockies, currently playing on their Double-A organization, but I have a feeling he will be called up to the show sometime this season. He hit a shot here he was a righty, mind you, but he hit a shot, a grand slam during the All-Star game. Or excuse me, not during the All-Star game. He also hit a grand slam during the All-Star game. But the game before the All-Star game, as a 3-2 pitch is a two-hopper over to third. Lewis fields it over to first in time. Oh, no, it gets past the glove of West. It looked like it was going to be in time, but West couldn't handle it. And that's going to be an error, advancing the runner over to second base. An uncharacteristic error here for Brandon Lewis. That's the second of the game for the Oaks. And there's a runner in scoring position now for the Blues. So going back to what I was saying, I guess, on the E5 as Marco Murillo digs in. 0 for 1 today with a couple of walks, a couple caught stealing, and a strikeout. Chad Spanberger went opposite field the game before the All-Star game on a grand slam and went up over the tennis courts, over right field, which is well over probably 430, 440 feet. It was a monster shot. That is not the longest home run I've seen. That's the longest home run I've seen here at Sparky Anderson as the first pitch is taken for strike one to Murillo. The longest hit I've ever seen was actually Brandon Lewis's home run last year. There was a CCL team by the name of the Ventura Halos. They played at Ventura College, and he hit it. There's netting out there that's about 410 feet from home plate. He hit it over the netting across the street, probably 450 feet is my guess. That was the longest home run I've seen. 0-1, runner goes, misses low and away, no throw. And that'll be a stolen base by the runner from second. Again, I apologize. That number is not on the Blues roster, so rather than assuming we know who it is, I'd rather just give you the number. Nonetheless, though, he is on third base. Appleby deals the 1-1 to Murillo. Foul tipped. 1-2 the count. But there have been many, many prevalent home runs. Terrell Tate, 2 years ago, hit some monster shots. Again, Chad Spanberger led the CCL with 14 home runs a couple of years ago. And Chad Bible from San Diego State had a couple of monster home runs. So far, we've seen a couple squeak out of Spark Anderson Field, but nothing too explosive, if you will. As the balls are being exchanged here for Appleby and Vitt. 7 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors for the Oaks. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the visiting Blues as the shadows begin to get longer on the field. Pretty soon, home plate will be overtaken by a shadow. Appleby toes the rubber, takes the sign and deals the 1-2. Slapped over to third. Lewis gets it, fires it over the first. This time is able to make the out. Nonetheless, so the runner scores from third, and the Blues now trail 7-4. RBI 5-3 putout in the books. And the Blues have now scored in consecutive innings for the first time all game. That is not an earned run, by the way, because the runner got on by way of an error. So that will not hurt Appleby's stats. As Lutz cracks one into center field on the first pitch he sees for a single. Lutz is now 1 for 3 on the day. He walked, stole a base, and scored back in the first. Struck out in the 6th and also flew out.
Third baseman, number 8, Conager Sands.
That's going to bring up Conager Stands, the third baseman. He's 1 for 2 with a walk, an RBI single, and a fly out to center. Runner on first, 1 away here, 1 around in the inning. And the slow Mustang digging in. Appleby deals, runner goes, pitches low, the throw is in time. Another beautiful throw from Bryce Veet.
When are they going to learn to stop running on him?
Well, Lutz had a stolen base earlier in the first inning, but this time, not so lucky. Veet able to shoot up and fire that ball over to second with ease. 2 outs, now 1-0 count to Sands. Appleby deals. Slapped foul into the dugout of the Blues. 1-1 the count. Appleby's from the area. Played in Westlake Little League. I actually played against him in a game way back in the day, or a couple of games, I'm sure, but I only remember him from one game. He was a good pitcher then, and I'm happy to say he's progressed since our Little League days. He deals the 1-1. Low in the dirt, 2 in the 1 to count. Slow had a couple of players drafted, where Conager Sands goes to college in this year's MLB draft. They had 3 to be exact in the first 10 rounds, The 2-1 hopped over in between short and third in the left field for a single. Back-to-back hits here for the Blues, but that caught stealing now hurts them. They have a runner on first with 2 away here in the top of the 8th inning. That is the second hit of the inning for the Blues. That'll bring up Luke Lipschus on the day for him. 0 for 2 with a walk. Was out in fielder's choice thereafter. Hit into fielder's choice in the 4th and also flew out to left back in the 1st inning. First pitch cracked off of Lipschus' foot out of play. 0-1 the count. I have to give a special shout out to Vern Merrill, former Oaks general manager, who just shot me a text. Vern, it is wonderful to hear from you. I know we haven't talked for a while, and I love to get you out to a game. I know you normally watch on from the beaches of Hawaii, but if you can ever make the trek out here, we would love to host you and have you on the broadcast. And by the way, he gave us the longest home run he has ever seen. He's been with the Oaks since the beginning of the organization's days. The 0-1 pitch, runs low and away, 1-1 the count. He said the longest homer was hit by a current Yankee and then Las Vegas player Greg Bird that hit the fence that divides the courts to the right center field fence. The 1-1 pitch at the at the knees, 1-2 the count. So that is the longest home run, I guess, in Oaks baseball history. I gave it from my tenure here with the Oaks, now my 3rd year, but Vern, obviously, his knowledge expands way further back than mine. The 1-2 runs outside, 2-2 the count.
Add Greg Bird to the list of Oaks major leaguers that have found successful professional careers. Christian Yelich,
Ryan Healy, James Shield. The list will go on and on. And more recently, Chad Spanberger will be up there. A couple of guys drafted this year. Ty Harper now, the 2-2. Breaking pitch catches the outside part of the plate for strike 3. And finally, the top half of the 8th is over. 1 run, 2 hits, and 1 error, and 2 left on base. We're through 7.5 from Cal Sparky Anderson Field. We'll be back right after this. Oaks lead 7-4.
Leading off the bottom of the eighth.
Bottom of the 8th inning here at George Sparky Anderson Field. Welcome back, everybody. Oaks lead 7-4. The 9-1 and 2 hitters due up here for Conejo. And a new pitcher on the mound here for the Blues in the form of Chase Walter in his second year now with the Blues. Plays his normal college ball over at Western Carolina, Division II school. Carolinas, though, have been very successful recently in baseball. Of course, Coastal Carolina winning the College World Series a couple of years back. Clemson, a very good team as well. His first pitch, Elijah Alexander, runs low and away for ball one. And how about this, Jordan? This is the third pitching change for the Blues, and the third time that they have pitched, or made the pitching change, as the 1-0 pitch runs away 2-0 the count. The third pitching change that they have made before the 9 batter comes up. So that means Elijah Alexander has faced a new pitcher three of the 4 times he's up.
That's a tough task as a hitter.
The 2-0 popped out of play, 2-1 the count. Yeah, he is 0 for 3, but it's been tough. It's hard because you never get to be able to gauge a guy. All of a sudden, there's a new pitcher on the mound every time you're up.
No room for learning from mistakes.
This is the 4th pitcher that he has faced now in the game. 2-1. Cracked over to second. Gloved by Charleston, and he fires it over the first for out number 1. By the way, Walter came in for Kirk, who went 2 innings, gave no hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. As we go back to the top of the order for Andrew Lucas.
Right fielder number 5.
On the day for Lucas, he's 1 for 3. He was hit by a pitch caught stealing. Had an RBI double back in the 4th and scored. Flew out and struck out back in the 1st and 3rd innings, respectively. The first pitch to him, big rip and a miss for strike 1. The lanky Western Carolina product deals the 0-1. Skied foul out of play, 0-2 the count.
I'm excited to see how Lucas progresses over the summer. First time seeing this quality of pitching, maybe in his life.
Pitch is low, 1-2 the count. But Lucas is a highly touted player off Camarillo. If you actually look on Twitter and you search his name, there's been a lot of scouting, a lot of famous, well-known scouts, or even baseball analysts who have told, or who have tweeted, if you will, or given out scouting reports that Andrew Lucas is a force to be reckoned with. And CSUN Baseball is very excited to have him. The Matadors are going to be very good with this young guy on their offensive staff. The 1-2. Called strike 3 at the knees. Lucas doesn't like the call, but nonetheless, that's the first strikeout of the day for Walter. The 5th overall for the Blues, and that puts 2 outs up on the board. That'll bring up the number 2 hitter, Tanner Wright, who has reached base all 4 times he's been up. He is 3 for 3 as the first pitch is called a strike with 3 singles and a walk, a run scored and an RBI. This game holds he will be our player of the game. The 0-1 in the dirt, 1-1 the count, and I believe that everybody's working fast now. It could be Bart West, too. We're going to discuss it. The 1-1 runs low for ball 2, 2-1. Bart West also has had a phenomenal day. He's 4 for 4, actually 3 for 3 as well with a walk. He may edge out Wright, though, with that RBI double because Wright only has 3 singles as the 2-1 pitch hits the dirt, 3-1 the count. So we'll discuss it, but either way, you can't go wrong with one of these players of the game. They both have had unbelievable games. They have both accounted for half of the Oaks hits. 6 of the 11 hits have come by way of Tanner Wright and Bart West.
Wow.
3-1. Turns ball 4 on a pitch inside. And once again, Tanner Wright walks. He reaches base for a 5th time today. First walk given up by Walter. And that matches the strikeout total now for the Blues. They've walked 5 Oaks batters as well. And Sam Shaken, who walked back in the 4th, digs in. He's also had a pretty good day, 1 for 3. Shouldering that bat. Takes the first pitch in the dirt for ball 1. McCourty comes up quickly, but no back pick attempt over at first. This game started off very quickly, and then a long 4th inning and a long 7th inning have made it a little bit longer. We're now 2.5 hours in. These games normally range between 2 hours and 10 minutes as the runner goes. Pitch misses low. The throw, not in time. Tanner Wright gets his first stolen base of the game. He's now 1 for 2 in that department, and the Oaks have a runner in scoring position with 2 away and a 2-0 count to Shaken. But as I was saying, it's been a kind of an inconsistent game pace-wise. A very quick first 3 innings, even though 3 runs were scored, 2 by the Blues and 1 by the Oaks, and then a very slow 4th and 7th inning. That has put us where we are now in the game. Walter deals the 2-0. Big swing and a miss by Shaken, 2-1 the count. Much needed day off for the Oaks tomorrow before they hit a very long stretch of games. 9 games in 11 days coming up. The 2-1. Cracked over to short. Perez gets it, fires it over to first. Backhanded by Lutz in time for out number 3. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. We're through 8 full here from Sparky Anderson Field. The Oaks lead at 7-4. 7, 8, and 9 hitters due up here for the Blues when we come back on the Oaks Broadcasting Network. Top of the 9th. Welcome back, everybody, to George Sparky Anderson Field. The Oaks lead 7-4, and the Blues have one more opportunity to knock in 3 runs and try and take, or at least tie up the game, maybe take the lead if they can get 1 more. But Angus Denton got his number called to try and shut them down and complete the save here for the Oaks. He'll face Noah Taylor. First pitch, 2-hopper over to second, right, runs up to it and bobbles the ball. Taylor will reach first base, and we'll see if they give Wright an error. They do not, so that'll be a hit. Oh, nope, they do give Wright an error. A little late addition. So an E4 puts a runner on first base, and that's a good start here for the Blues. Ryan McCourty digs in now 0 for 3, a double play, a strikeout, and a ground out under his belt. The first pitch, an inside corner strike by Denton. The righty from Arkansas in his second year with the Oaks had a pretty good last year. Left the Razorback team early to come pitch for the Oaks. The 0-1 misses up and away, 1-1 the count. He closed out the game on Sunday against the SoCal Cubs. Faced 4 batters, gave 1 hit, struck out the 3 other guys. Toes the rubber. Sidearm motion deals the 1-1. Big swing and a miss. 1-2 the count.
Look out for that nasty slider here from Denton to the right-handed hitter. That's a potent pitch.
Potent is a perfect way to describe it. McCourty digs in, the 1-2. Fouled back, a cutter this time. Actually, it was a slider, my mistake. Nonetheless, though, a little bit of movement, and the count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. McCourty from Cuesta College up in San Luis Obispo. That's the feeder school for Cal Poly, but University of California, Berkeley gets a lot of Cuesta kids as well. The 1-2, another slider, got him swinging. First strikeout of the day for Denton. 1 out up on the board.
Quick question, Jonathan. Are we playing baseball or are we playing Frisbee?
From that, if it look like that, it looks like we're playing some ultimate Frisbee out there.
Oh, yeah, the Frisbee slider from Denton, absolutely nasty. And with his fastball having so much sinking action, watch out for the inning, and game-ending double play.
Quentin Perez digs in. First pitch is Taylor made to second. Right gets it, tags the player over to first in time, and this game is over. An unassisted 4-3 double play, just as Jordan Brenner predicted, and the Oaks win 7-4. The final line for you, the Blues get 4 runs on 6 hit, no errors, and they leave a total of 8 on base. The Oaks on the other side get 7 runs on 11 hits, 3 looming errors, and they leave 9 on base. Game time, 2 hours and 45 minutes. The Oaks are now 2-1 on the season. The winning pitcher goes to Brandon Ponticelli. The losing pitcher is Dane Morrow, and the save goes to Angus Denton. The Blues now drop to 6-3. Both teams are now 1-1 on the young CCL season. Jordan Brenner, what a phenomenal game for the Oaks.
Yeah, you really saw some consistency, and you really are starting to understand who Dave Solis wants to go late in these games. Late in these games. Angus Denton, filthy out of the bullpen, getting that inning-ending double play, the filthy Frisbee slider. He was fantastic. Let's talk about the offense. Putting up that first really crooked number of the season for the Oaks, a 6-run 4th inning. They battled around in that inning. If this offense can get just enough pitching like they did today, they're going to be hard to beat all summer long.
Between the pitching and the offense, this team looked like the best team right now from top to bottom in the CCL, even though we've only seen one CCL team. But if you look at what happened to the other teams so far this season, this Oaks team has put up a lot of offense. Again, 11 hits and a lot of loud outs, too. They only struck out 5 times, and compared to the 8 strikeouts they had yesterday and the 13 strikeouts they had on Sunday, that is a big difference. And when you can put balls into play, even if they aren't hits, eventually they're going to start falling for you, and that's exactly what the Oaks did tonight.
The most important player on this team, other than maybe Brandon Lewis, is Bart West, and that's because he's protecting Lewis in the lineup. If West can continue to have multi-hit games and record loud outs when he does get out, teams are going to have to pitch to Lewis, and that's going to make him explode, and it's going to allow West to get more RBI opportunities. The depth of this lineup is quite extraordinary, and they're destined for a very, very successful season.
Well, that's going to do it for us here from the Oaks broadcast. Head over to Twitter. In about 5 minutes, I'll be standing by with Bart West, our offensive player of the game. He went 3 for 3 with an RBI, a run scored, and a walk. Again, that's over on Twitter once we caught off the stream. But for everybody who made this broadcast possible, my broadcasting partner, Jordan Brenner, our statistician downstairs, Jacob Plack, our wonderful producer, Sean McKinnon, and the entire Oaks crew. My name is Jonathan Rifkin, signing off. Day off tomorrow. We'll be back here at Sparky Anderson at 12:45 on Friday when the Oaks and the Bears duke it out in game number 3 of the CCL season. Until then, we'll see you on Twitter. Enjoy your day off, and once again, the Oaks win 7-4 against the Blues.